This simple two-ingredient secret will flood your soil with earthworms overnight. Your soil is either alive or, well, it's slowly dying beneath your feet. And honestly, the difference often comes down to one powerful force most gardeners overlook: earthworms. These silent workers can transform hard, lifeless dirt into rich, breathable, nutrient-packed soil. But here's the truth: most people don't realize. Earthworms don't just show up because you planted something. You have to attract them, and when you do it right, they come in droves. Today, we're diving into two incredibly powerful, natural ingredients that will attract earthworms like crazy and keep them working in your garden long term. This is not guesswork. This is a proven, simple method that can completely change how your soil behaves. Why earthworms are the real game changers. Before we get into the how, you need to understand the why. Earthworms are more than just soil dwellers. They are natural soil engineers. As they tunnel, they loosen compacted soil, allowing air and water to move freely. Their castings, what they leave behind, are one of the richest natural fertilizers available. Packed with nutrients plants can absorb immediately. Even more powerful, earthworms stimulate microbial life. That means healthier roots, stronger plants, and better yields. If your garden lacks worms, your soil is missing one of its most important allies. Now let's fix that. The first magnet is Alfalfa Meal. Alfalfa is one of the most underrated soil boosters, and when it comes to attracting earthworms, it's pure magic. Alfalfa meal is rich in nitrogen, trace minerals, and a natural growth stimulant called triacontanol. But what really makes it irresistible to worms is how quickly it begins to break down. As alfalfa decomposes, it heats slightly and releases nutrients that attract microorganisms. Earthworms follow that microbial activity like a magnet. To them, it's a feast. Using it correctly makes all the difference. For every 10 square meters of garden space, apply about 2 to 3 cups of alfalfa meal. Sprinkle it evenly across the soil surface. Then lightly water it in to activate decomposition. You don't need to dig it deep. Worms will come up to feed on it. If you want to supercharge the effect, you can turn it into a liquid feed. Mix 1 cup of alfalfa meal into 10 liters of water. Let it sit for 24 hours, stirring occasionally. This creates a mild, nutrient-rich tea. Pour it directly onto your soil in the evening when temperatures are cooler. This not only feeds your plants but creates a moist, nutrient-dense environment that earthworms absolutely love. The second magnet is molasses. Now here's where things get even more interesting. If alfalfa is the food, molasses is the signal that calls in the army. Molasses is packed with sugars that feed beneficial microbes in the soil. When microbial populations explode, earthworms quickly follow. They rely on these microorganisms as a primary food source. But molasses does something else. It enhances soil biology at a rapid rate. Within days, you'll notice increased soil activity if conditions are right. The key is dilution. Mix 2 tablespoons of unsulfured molasses into 10 liters of water. Stir thoroughly until fully dissolved. This solution should be applied directly to moist soil, not dry soil, to avoid stressing microbes. Water your garden lightly first, then apply the molasses mixture evenly over the surface. Evening application works best because it prevents evaporation and gives microbes time to thrive overnight. When you combine these two, everything changes. Here's the real secret most gardeners miss. You don't have to use these ingredients separately. When combined correctly, alfalfa and molasses create a powerful chain reaction in your soil. First, apply the alfalfa meal to your garden surface as described earlier. Water it lightly. Then follow with the molasses solution. What happens next is remarkable. The alfalfa begins breaking down, releasing nutrients and heat. The molasses feeds a surge of microbial life. Within a short time, your soil becomes a hot spot of biological activity. Earthworms detect this immediately and move in fast. This isn't a slow process. In many cases, gardeners start seeing increased worm activity within a few days. Moisture is the hidden key. Even the best ingredients won't work if your soil is too dry. Earthworms breathe through their skin, which means they need moisture to survive. After applying your alfalfa and molasses, keep your soil consistently damp, but not waterlogged. Think of a wrung-out sponge. That's the ideal condition. Mulching can make a huge difference here. A layer of organic mulch like dry leaves or grass clippings helps retain moisture and gives worms a safe, cool environment to thrive. Timing makes a big difference. If you want maximum results, timing matters more than most people think. Apply this method during cooler parts of the day, preferably in the evening. Worms are naturally more active at night, and cooler temperatures encourage them to come closer to the surface. Also, avoid applying during extremely hot or dry periods unless you can maintain consistent moisture afterward. What to expect in your garden? Once earthworms start showing up, your soil begins to transform in ways you can actually see and feel. The soil becomes softer and easier to work with. Water starts soaking in instead of running off. Plants begin to look healthier, with stronger growth and deeper color. Over time, you'll notice fewer problems with compaction and poor drainage. That's the long-term power of building a living soil system instead of just feeding plants. Common mistakes to avoid. One mistake gardeners make is over-applying. More is not always better. Stick to the recommended amounts. Too much alfalfa can create excess heat, and too much molasses can overwhelm the soil biology. Another mistake is applying to completely dry or lifeless soil without adding moisture. Remember, this method works by boosting life, and life needs water. Patience also matters. While results can come quickly, building a thriving worm population is a process. Stay consistent, and the rewards will compound over time. Turn your soil into a living ecosystem. When you start attracting earthworms, you're not just improving your soil, you're building a self-sustaining ecosystem. One where nutrients cycle naturally, plants grow stronger, and your garden becomes more resilient season after season. And the best part? It only takes 2 simple ingredients to get started. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe to The Garden Life and share this with a fellow gardener who needs to bring their soil back to life. Your garden and your harvest will thank you.